What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I was just thinking about certain fighters and their image, and how image is so important. How it can be a good and a bad thing. I was thinking about Wilder, and then again, people think that I'm a Wilder basher, and I am not a Wilder basher. I just see certain things that happens and certain things that if I see them, it doesn't matter who you are, I'm going to call you out on it. But I was thinking in forms of image, of images, or a type of image rather, that fighters push and to promote themselves, and it's like they have to be careful on what image they push out there, because you look at Wilder, everyone looks at Wilder, a lot of people, should I say, look at Wilder as, like a thug, a hoodlum, and that could, because that's the image he pushes out. He's began to push that out more and more, and you got to be careful on that, because that image that you push out is not necessarily who you are as a person. There's a lot of good things Deontay Wilder does, there's a lot of good things that he's done this year that people will just take with a grain of salt, and actually he's been criticized for doing so, and I was one of the only guys that, since I'm not part of the LDBC or any of that, I took offense to what those particular channels were calling him, like, Uncle Tom and, Coon and all that, because he, accepted the award for Jack Johnson, for the pardon of Jack Johnson, which I thought was cool because, yeah, for the family of Jack Johnson, it was good for Slide to go to the president and make the president aware of what was going on with Jack Johnson. Because that's exactly what happened. And I'm glad he was one of the boxers there to support that. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing, because Jack Johnson was innocent, okay? It was about Jack Johnson. And he was there to support Jack Johnson. Forget the politics behind what was going on. What was it about? It was about Jack Johnson. And I'm glad Deontay Wilder was there and was there to accept that award, him and Lennox Lewis. Again, Sly Stallone, he's a real big boxing buff, all the Rocky movies, right? And I just went to Philly and seen that statue, which was cool. Took a couple pictures, it was cool. But, those are good things that he says, He likes to push a lot of things that, political, or what's going on in the South with cops killing, innocent people and stuff like that. That gets swept all under the rug with other things that he does when people see. It's not what you do, is what people see and how you project yourself. Floyd did the same thing. Floyd, on Thanksgiving at around the holiday time, Floyd gives away food, like buys food, like trucks of food, like turkeys and things like that, to feed the homeless in Las Vegas. You don't hear anything about that. That would probably be the last thing that you would hear about Floyd Mayweather. You would see him in Dubai buying a watch for $1.5 million, him doing this, him doing that, him slapping a chick, him getting into an altercation, him fighting at a cafe in Miami with TIP. You'll hear things like that before you will hear things of him feeding the homeless, making sure his family's fine and taking care of, his family for generations, and open businesses for other close family members. Seeing his uncle at the hospital that has an illness. You don't see stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that image comes at a price, okay? It sold Mayweather a lot of tickets. Deontay Wilder, he's stepping up. He's getting more notoriety, okay? And he's getting more popular and more popular. He's getting more money for fight purses. Thank God, all of now. But it's going to come with a price, you know. And then, you know, I did a video that was labeled Thug and the Businessman, you know, and I labeled it that way simply because it was explaining two different guys and two different personalities, right? It was for, you know, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder on, you know, why they couldn't get things and how they thought or whatnot, you know. And I did that video to show that. But the image is very important, man. You know, however you portray yourself, you know, when you become a public figure, you got a lot to be responsible for. You're responsible for that generation. You know, a lot of people like Deontay Wilder that don't even watch boxing, but they like him because, you know, they can identify with him, which is cool to a certain degree. But then when you do get to a certain plateau, it's your responsibility to show, you know, hey, this ain't how you do it. You know what I mean? You do it this way. You want to be smart. You know, you want to be, you know, better to people. You know, you want to project this type of image. You know what I'm saying? You owe it to your peers. You owe it to the youth because they see what you do. You know, you don't know how you influence someone ever when you do certain things. You know, the Bomb Squad, yeah, that's a savage, like, you know, slogan. The Bronze Bomber, he was a bronze Olympian. You know, so that's the case. You know, he can influence people, you know, children to, you know, strive, you know, especially if they're athletic. You know, he played football too, you know, strive them to be what he is. And you know what? And I don't doubt that he's doing that. But here's the deal. Once you get that type of reputation as that image or that thug or whatever, that's all they're going to project. That's all they're going to ever amplify. They're going to amplify all that. They will never see what you've done in your town of Tuscaloosa or Birmingham, rather. They'll never see that. They'll always see, oh, well, hey, this happened. And you hear about Deontay Wilder, got into it with Dominic Brazil, his brother, and they got in a scuffle. And you know what I mean? You'll hear about that way before you'll hear about him doing something for the homeless or doing something, you know, that could help the youth, something positive. You're always going to hear negative things, you know. So he could learn a lot from Mayweather because since he once portrayed that good guy, you know, image, now he's jumping over to the dark side, or should I say the thuggish side. He has to be ready for what comes with it. Yeah, it's going to come fame, it's going to come a lot, but it's going to come a lot of negativity, just as Floyd. You know, whereas you have guys like Pacquiao, Joshua, you don't hear anything about them because of the image they portray, okay? You won't hear anything about that. You know, look at Canelo Alvarez. That's another image pusher, a positive image pusher from Mexico. He's like, you know, he's a form of Tecate, and he has many endorsements now, a few endorsements. You know, but you'll never hear anything bad from him. That don't mean he's squeaky clean. You know, he just had a kid. I ain't seen Canelo Alvarez married. You know what I mean? But you just won't hear about that because the type of image that they project. Oscar De La Hoya, another one. You know what I mean? He ain't labeled no bad boy, no bad guy or whatever. But yeah, he got into all types of stuff. Now he wants to run for president. So, you know, that tells you it's about the image that you portray. It's not a thing about, you know, being yourself or being fake or whatever. It's not about that. You know, just understand, if you're trying purposely to push a certain persona and it's you know, in its street or its hood or its thug or whatever, it's gonna come with a lot of other stuff too that you didn't ask for. So anyway, that's just me wrapping it up, you know, about images and Deontay Wilder and comparison to Mayweather. But I mean, you guys tell me what you think about this particular video. Please subscribe, and you guys can counterpunch. Peace.